seeing in the monitor, I have a lot of light on the side of your face. You do the intro, Steve. Hi, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steve, and this is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast. Welcome to episode 318. This first ad was sent to us by a friend of the show, Ryan Burke. This is a 1993 Fender Jazzmaster Champ JMCH10. I've never seen one of these before.
I've never seen one either, and that's why I grabbed the ad off of eBay. I was trolling around eBay looking for Jazzmaster parts just as I was like,
Was there
curious.
no description on this?
I don't think there was. I didn't get a description anyways. Maybe you should check eBay real quick. But I'll describe what we're looking at here while Steve looks up for this eBay ad. It is a small-bodied take on a Jazzmaster body with a Fender-style neck on there. I can't tell if it's a short-scale neck or not, but it's got a Strat trim on it with one of those 90s plastic-covered Fender humbuckers where you there's no pole pieces or anything, like the same kind of pickup that would have been in like the early Bullets and stuff like that.
This is...
And it has a built-in speaker in the pick guard. There's like a circular grill cut into the pick guard. So this is a battery amp in a guitar sort of concept. And it's only $600 on eBay. It's super, super funky, like Fender guitar I've never seen before.
Hi there.
Here we go.
This is a Fender Japan JMCH Champ 10 MIJ Sunburst. It has a built-in speaker and onboard amp, but of course it can be plugged into a real amplifier. This guitar has a short 24-inch scale, so you can easily take it wherever you want. Come on now. 24-inch scale means you can take it wherever you want?
Yeah, you can just take it anywhere.
It's not much bigger than a set of cricket stumps, if that's your sport. Built-in speaker is loud enough for practicing or singing a song with friends. Flick the switch to the third position, and it not only plays with distortion, and even cooler when plugged into an amp, the distortion mode works through the amp as well. It has one nice sounding humbucker pickup, and you'll be amazed at the sounds you can get from this single pickup with just a volume and tone controls. It's almost like a mellow bridge pickup Strat sound all the way to twangy Tele sound. It has a real cool little battery slot where you can just pop out the battery without messing around with the screwdriver. The only thing with the guitar is that your mates will probably laugh at you first until they hear it. Overall, good condition, only a few chips dents. Frets are excellent as well. Sorry, I don't have the tremolo bar, which is kind of fine because the tremolo was completely blocked.
Is it blocked? I didn't look at it that close.
Yeah,
I saw blocked. The trim block and I was like, wow, oh, it is blocked. It looks like this was a bridge from a 12-string guitar, which is crazy to think about because were there any 12-string guitars that had a Strat trim on them? Or maybe this was just like a design of trim blocks back then, but I've never seen anything like this.
Well, this guitar's, it's not like it's that old. It's from the 90s.
Yeah.
I am seeing one with a trim. I'm trying to see if there's, I'm looking at through these reverb photos. They never take the thing off. They never take it off.
It's a bummer that I mean, the trim is blocked off all the way to the point there's not even springs back there. Like they've wedged a piece of wood in there so tight that the bridge just isn't moving anymore. They took the springs and the claw out.
There are a bunch of these on reverb.
You said it was a 24.5-inch scale?
No, just 24.
Just 24? I mean, that is short for a Fender. Not as short as my my Duosonic.
Well, it's like that's the normal short scale for Fender, right?
I have a feeling I'd have a lot of fun with one of these. I'm not going to go spend $600 to get one.
That's actually a real... I mean, I guess it's a little beat up, but like...
Well, there was... they came in a couple of different colors as far as I could see. There was like an Olympic white and there was like a Sonic blue that looked really nice. The Sonic blue had like the pearloid pick guard and stuff. I have a feeling those are the ones to get. Have you ever played around with a guitar that had the built-in amp like this, like a Nomad or whatever they're called, the
only
Fernandez
in like the
ones?
Store. I've never like really like messed around with one a lot.
I remember when I was super young, learning to play, I went into the local store and they had one of the Fernandez ones, and the store clerk was trying to sell me on it so hard. He's like, "You got to try this thing. You're gonna love this thing. This is it. You got to buy this right now." I was like, "No, that's okay. I'm really just here to like kick the tires on stuff because I don't have any money."
One of those guys, huh?
Yeah. I've officially dicked with the lights.
Is it better?
I can't tell because the screen's so far away and it's so tiny.
Now it just seems really bright.
It might be really bright. It might be really tweaking the levels on this when I edit it. I'll put the lights back to normal on the next episode. What do you think, Steve? Do you think you'd ever be $600 curious for one of these? Like this is the sort of thing like we were talking weeks ago, like what we'd collect if we could collect guitars and put them away as like speculative investments.
I mean, this is a wild speculative investment.
But this is the sort of thing I would want to grab because I'd want them to be more like, you know, a hall of oddities, a Ripley's Believe It or Not of guitars sort of thing.
Yeah, like, it definitely fits in that. I would say, 600. I mean, at its core, it's a Japanese Jazzmaster, a short scale Jazzmaster, but it's like, again, short scale, air quotes, whatever, 24. I don't think of 24 inches as short scale. I guess technically it is. It's only 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, Steve thinks 24 inches is pretty dang long.
Yeah, man.
I mean, not compared to a bass.
I mean, who even wants to deal with 24 inches?
I mean, to Steve, everything is short scale.
That's true.
Because he's a long guitar boy.
But, you know, beyond that, if it's a good playing Japanese guitar.
Yeah, which it probably is.
It's just then kind of got this one weird thing. Now, to that, you know, $600 and this thing is kind of like not in the best shape. It's not really original as far as I've been able to tell. Like that block's been replaced. There's no trem claw. So, you know, you'd have to replace all that if you wanted to actually like use the trem.
Well, you could put a nice bridge on there. Oh, it's a 2-point trim too. You could put something really fun on there.
But it's like then you're spending $600 and then, you know, something else, you know.
Was there a hole drilled there for oh, that's an LED indicator light for the battery.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I look at this and like, I think it'd be fun to get one of these and remove the amp functionality of it and just turn it, excuse me, I'm coughing on a spicy carrot. Just turn it into a guitar, you know? Like not worry about it being an amp. Turn it into just a player's guitar, like a white single ply pick guard, humbucker in the bridge, maybe like a Tele pickup in the neck or something like that.
But now you're talking about spending $600 for a project.
I know. I just think it's fun. I just think it's.
I'm just saying like, like I kind of like the guy's pitch where it's like, oh, all your friends will be like, oh, you got that dumb guitar with an amp built in, but it's like, yeah, but it's a sick playing guitar.
Yeah. And when was the last time you saw a battery amp that was an offset? You know, it's a cool guitar.
I mean,
I feel like after this episode, I'm going to go post the link to this to the Offset Guitars group.
When have you ever seen a battery-powered or a guitar with an amp built into it that was worth more than like $150 or $100?
I've never seen a Fender. I mean, that's part of I've never seen a Fender guitar with the amp built-in thing. I realized that was a thing in the 90s. They were taking all these big nose amps and shoving them in guitars.
You still see these a lot at like... at NAMM, actually, like a lot of the import booths have these.
This specifically, or just that concept?
Just like that concept, like guitars with built-in amps.
Yeah. Well, what's new, Steve? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
We're both still here. We're both alive.
Am I doing what's new first? You want to do what's new?
You do what's new first.
My what's new is, I guess I have like my second video on the YouTube channel. Is it my second video?
Steve's got a big old bass demo head now. Look at this demo boy over here. It's famous YouTube.
That was the video when we first talked about it. I was like, you should release you should just release a blooper reel of NAMM, but it's only that video. But then you sent it to me and I was like, you know what? Like the playing isn't great, but like it's playing, and you know, there wasn't like, we just kind of winged a bass. Yeah. Like a bass patch.
I threw together a patch on the HX Stomp like in a minute. Yeah. I was like, here's a bass amp, here's a bass cab. I hope it sounds good. I'll just mess with it in post. And it was fine.
My favorite comment so far is the guy who said like, he's like, this is like the Napoleon Dynamite of YouTube videos. But the guy's name was was like Blair Switch Project or something. So
That's
it was
a fun name.
It was like another movie pun. I was like, a movie pun name making a punny movie reference. Like, I'm in for that.
Yeah, I'm down. But I think we need to figure out how to get you on camera more playing bass. I think we need to get you set up in a way, because like NAMM is crazy.
Yeah.
And to jump into doing a demo on camera at NAMM is a stretch for anyone. Like, it's amazing that I do what I do there. And I'm not saying I'm amazing. I'm saying
Ryan.
I'm just saying that, like, getting over being in the environment and then getting your head straight enough to actually make some content that's worthwhile is a lot.
Yeah.
Let alone to play clean, let alone to say anything worthwhile.
Well, and it's funny too, because like I was just messing around. I was like, oh, this is cool. And you're like, you want to demo it? I'm like, sure. And then so like there are a few people, of course, like all of the videos from NAMM. Oh, why didn't you tune it? Why didn't you tune it? And I know for yours, like you spent more time like trying to tune some of them at least, depending on like how busy the booth was. But I'm just there going like, I don't know how this, like, I'm like, literally Ryan was like, plug it in.
It's like the first time you've ever used an HX stop.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to play a couple of things here.
Well, you know what? I will say, despite the technical issues of you not knowing quite what to do with the bass and whatnot.
Or how to play bass.
Or how to play bass in the moment. I thought you were very entertaining and you were fun. And you said funny stuff. And I mean, people like it. People are liking the video. So we need to do more of that. They just need to carve more time out of our busy schedules for you to come over here and waste your time taking around on video.
I've got at least, I don't know what's going on with my kids' activities, how many of those are going to end up getting canceled, but like I'm definitely seeing things get canceled.
Yeah. Oh, man. From this thing that we haven't mentioned, because everyone already knows, the toilet paper disease is causing everyone to buy up all the toilet paper.
High life virus.
High life virus. I keep hoping for a funner name for this coronavirus thing. I'm kind of hoping we name it after the first celebrity that it kills. Like whether that be
it's gonna be Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks or someone else. You think Tom Hanks is not strong enough to fight it off?
He's fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
You know, it's so funny and not to
hilarious.
You know, I know
says Steve.
I know. 9 out of 10 stars. It's like basically Uncut Gems. I didn't see that movie. Was that a funny movie? I have no idea.
The best comedy of 2020, says Steve. Coronavirus.
Well, and I think that's why like they moved really hard to start calling it by like its science name.
Right.
Excuse me.
I'll excuse you this time.
The biggest thing that I've observed is the amount of like non-science takes or like trying to be like, and this always happens.
By the way, people, Steve he works in the sciences. I know you can't say that you're a scientist because it's an official position.
I am a scientist. I'm an associate scientist.
He's an associate scientist. I didn't know you'd been upgraded.
Yeah.
Now
a while ago.
Now I don't have to like sidestep it. I can tell people Steve is a scientist.
Yeah. But
he knows about this stuff.
There's a lot of just like hot take. Like we were talking about like the whole thing where people say like, oh, the flu killed like 60,000 people last year. Like, but no one talks about that. Nobody's freaking out over that. But it's like, I get it. And it's a big deal. And that's why, you know, like they're always like, get your flu shot, which I didn't do, but
me either.
You know, all this stuff. And the thing that I think that is the biggest takeaway for me from all of this is it's not that, like even like Ebola, when they talk about Ebola, like Ebola is a thing where they know what it is, they know why it happens, and they know how to prevent it. And this is a thing where like, yeah, it's not super widespread at this point, but it's like, this literally is something that as far as scientists were concerned, did not exist 6 months ago.
Right.
And that's actually what like the biggest scary part of it all is it didn't exist 6 months ago. We barely know anything about it.
We don't know what's going to happen.
And it's just kind of like showing up. And at least right now, like it's spreading really fast. And it seems to like literally I've been seeing things that are like this, like because of the way it spreads. And because like apparently the older you are, the worse it is for you. They're saying like, oh, if this like continues to spread the same way, like basically all that boomer wealth is going to go down the toilet real fast. because it's like this could, you know,
Yeah.
and the estimates are just estimates. Numbers are just numbers.
Well, that money's not going to disappear. It's going to go into
it's going to go
medical.
It's going to go into what is it?
And burial costs. Ooh, that's dark.
Esquivement, is that what it's called? Esquivement.
I don't know.
It's like when your bank account goes idle, so the government takes your money.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. But you know, which isn't to say it will or won't. I've seen a number of like actual science-based publications say like, yeah, the estimates could, like, nothing could happen, but based on the current rates, if you compare it to like other things in the past, like this could be like, I actually saw one that said like, you know, 100 million people in the United States could potentially get affected, which is like a standard cold.
Sure.
But it's a more deadly version of the cold, right?
It's got a higher death rate than cold, though.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying, like,
and honestly,
I understand I understand why people are skeptical, and there's definitely a lot of hype. I don't know why we're talking about this.
And we should have saved it. You should have asked me what's new first. I shouldn't have let you go first.
I told you. I would just say like a lot of the hype is because one person went and bought 10 bags of toilet paper, and then everybody else went and like, oh man, I don't want to run out of toilet paper. So
I don't want to be the only person without toilet paper.
So people keep saying like, oh, the media is hyping this thing. The media is hyping this thing. I have not, like, I don't turn on the Today Show in the morning and what's the dude's name that does the weather on the Today Show?
Sure. Don't try to think of his name. Just continue the story.
Anyway, you know, I don't turn on the Today Show and Kathy Lee Gifford's like, hey, everybody, coronavirus is coming. Go buy 40 boxes of toilet paper. Like, people are doing that on their own.
No, it's a total like animal instinctual response to just being terrified and wanting to have some kind of control. And that's like, I guess I'll just buy stuff. Yeah. I'll just buy stuff in case I don't have the stuff. Because if I don't have the stuff, then what'll I do if they don't make more stuff? You know, it's just this animalistic.
I panicked and bought a share of Apple. What's new with you, Ryan?
I've been selling stuff. I've been selling a lot of things since the last time we recorded.
That's why the market was down and I was able to buy, because you're selling. I finally hit the wall. I've been complaining about it for long enough. I'm just like, I just got to get rid of stuff. I've got too much stuff around here. I sold off the Celestian Blue in that big cab that I had. Did you sell to anyone we know?
No.
Okay, because I know you listed it in a secret local places.
Yeah. I sold. Oh, I didn't sell it. I gave away that busted Katana 50 that I blew up. Mm-hmm. I put that up on Craigslist. I'm like, come get it. And that one was funny because the guy that came to pick it up, when I opened the door, he looks up at me and he's like, I'm like, yes, I am. And I handed him the amp.
Close the door.
I was like, enjoy it, bye. And then I closed the door. And then I felt really bad. So I texted him later. I was like, hey, man, sorry I was brief with you. I have family over, which was true.
Yeah.
It was my brother's birthday. We were doing the thing. Cool. And then I chatted with him a little bit. And he's like, oh, yeah, I watched your video about blowing up and blah, blah, blah.
Now you're text friends.
Now we're texting friends. And then previously that day, I sold the Harley Benton Fusion with the Floyd Rose on it because I've been just sitting on it forever. I'm like, I never played this guitar. It's a fun guitar. It's cool that it's got stainless steel frets.
I was going to say, did you make sure that they knew it had stainless steel frets?
But I always felt bad, like, I should keep doing coverage of this because Thomann gave it to me to do coverage with. And then I looked on their site, they don't even sell it anymore. They don't sell that model anymore. So I was like, this gone.
Don't they just have a new version?
Yeah, they have the two.
Well, get the new version.
Yeah, I'll get the new version. So I sold that. I sold my only bass. I sold my Slammer bass. So I'm bassless now. And my thought was, like, with the bass, like, oh, because whenever I've made, like, a recording at home, I end up using a bass.
Bassless starring William H. Macy.
But I'm like, if I'm going to make an album, if I'm going to make a recording, a demo, or whatever at home, I can borrow a bass.
Yeah.
Also, if I close my eyes and think about the bass I really want, the bass I want to see hanging on my wall.
What is it?
It's a Dan Electro Longhorn. It's like, I could hold on to this bass, or I could open up a space for it, a bass space, and wait for that Dan Electro to come into my life. You know, because I want one of those Longhorns.
If you get a Longhorn, you need a display case for your bass space.
Oh, I need a bass display case for my bass space.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case I get a get a bass case.
You might, when you do a video, you have to make sure you get a close up of the bass because some people want that bass in the face.
Also, when I sold the Harley Benton, the guy texted me half an hour later and he was like, I just realized who you are. so twice in the same day, I sold stuff to people who recognize me, which is making me think I need to like sell my stuff through like a third party or something like that. Oh my
gosh.
Or just
like meet them at Starbucks like I do.
It's just, I sold so much stuff in such a short amount of time that it's like, I just want it gone. And I did everything for like get it gone prices too. Like I wasn't trying to do flips. I wasn't trying to get as close to like top price as I could. I was just like, if I put this guitar up for this price, someone's going to contact me today. And it happened.
It's because if you put it up for like full price, the guy's just going to come over and be like, oh, isn't this retail? Isn't this pretty much retail?
Oh, that feels a lot like retail to me. So anyways.
What's it going to take to put this in my hands and not in your hands?
I guess, yeah, I'm just trying to sell stuff. I've got more stuff on the chopping block that I'm thinking about selling. I got a big box of pedals I want to sell. I got more guitars in the room that I want to sell. I changed the set back here. You'll notice there's shelves behind Steve. I brought the pedal shelves down with these IKEA shelves so that pedals are more kind of like centered in the set, because I want that to be more of a focus this year with demos, is incorporating pedals and using pedals. So that was my thought. And all those pesky guitars were in the way. Other than that, do we want to talk about the album?
No, we want to talk about that shirt you're wearing.
Oh, I'm wearing a shirt.
We got a couple shirts from Grant at Big Ear Pedals.
Steve will wear his next week. And we got Barney the dinosaur colors right now.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't think about that. And he sent us a little note saying thanks. And these sick. I can't wait for this pedal to come out, man. The Albie. This is a Cat Albert.
It's one of those pedals that just keeps hitting roadblocks. I did some I did some fun stuff for it last year, and I've just been waiting for it to come out and for one to get my hands so I could do the demo. Well, we've got some fun stuff planned for the Albie launch.
Yeah, thanks, Grant.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Grant. Album exchange? You ready?
Yeah, let's do this. This week's album is, I guess, the other end of the decade. Well, actually, they're both in different decades.
Did you pull this from the Inner Circle?
I did.
There you go.
This is Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. This came out in 1987, I think. So almost 10 years after last week's Van Halen.
Wow. It's crazy to think that they were so far apart.
You know, it's okay. So my first thought, like holistically of this, is that...
it makes you realize how long that shreddy metal scene lasted. As a genre.
But it, like, to me, like holistically, like listening to Van Halen, I would say like there's probably a track or two that I'm just forgetting, but I feel like I could put on Van Halen for my kids.
Oh, sure. You definitely can't do that with this album.
You cannot do this for this album.
It's got that mature rating. Just because it's got a lot of F-bombs in it.
It does have a lot of F-bombs in it. It has an entire song dedicated to heroin.
Yeah.
Probably has multiple songs dedicated to hard drugs, and I just don't understand hard drugs.
Although the Van Halen album had some songs that were very sexually suggestive. But if you're a kid, you're just like, oh, he's just singing about ice cream.
Right. Right.
I like the ice cream man too. I wouldn't mind being an ice cream man selling ice cream. Still talking about the Van Halen album.
No. But yeah, I would say I don't want to compare this like to Van Halen, but I thought actually, okay, so one thought I had was I'm gonna skip Welcome to the Jungle. Y'all know that song, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows.
I mean, there's a couple big bangers.
Yeah, Welcome to the Jungle, Paradise City. I think those are the big. Oh, Sweet Child of Mine, obviously, are kind of the big three off of this album.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I think that might be all of the Guns N' Roses songs that I know.
Really?
Like, I know November Rain is a song, but if you said, hey, Steve, sing November Rain, nothing is going to come out of my mouth.
Sure. I've heard Mr. Brownstone on the radio before. I'm definitely familiar with the song.
Yeah, it sounded really familiar, but I didn't know why. The song It's So Easy sounds like The Cult. Sounded a lot like The Cult to me. like the other,
Sure.
like their other vocalists.
I mean, this is clearly one of those albums where like the songs, there's a reason why you know the songs because they are the bangers on the album.
Yeah.
And the rest are kind of like, oh, you like Guns N' Roses? Here's more of that.
I actually thought like pretty much every song on this album was really good. Like I really enjoyed
they're
it.
solid. I had some notes from the beginning going into one of the other songs. My first note, because it opens with Welcome to the Jungle, another confirm your purchase intro, no buyer's remorse here. Like if you bought this album, you pop it into your tape deck in your car, your CD player, Welcome to the Jungle starts playing. It does not let you down for a moment of that song. It keeps going. It keeps delivering just this amazing feeling song. And then it feeds into It's So Easy, and it just kind of falls apart. Like, it's fine. It's a fine song, but like it doesn't deliver that huge just purchase confirming feeling, you know?
Well, and I like I said, I just thought that was like the vocals are so different, and it's like it just feels like it should be a completely kind of different. And that's where I think I think it's the Colt I'm thinking of.
And it's one
like
of those,
the vocal is just this like really deep vibrato, like like
it's
very,
one of those things where like if you hear like the B-side songs off of an album like this, off a band that their sound is so iconic and they have some hits that are so huge, when you hear a song you haven't heard before, it sounds like a cartoonish like impersonation of that band. Right. You know, it's like the same way I said that Rush sometimes sounds like a cartoon impersonation of Led Zeppelin. You know, like it would be an example of like, you know, someone rolls up in a Camaro in a movie and you hear generic heavy metal playing in their car and you're like, oh, that could be anyone, but they're trying to sound like Guns N' Roses. Like I was getting that vibe from a bunch of the songs. But then on the other side of it, the songs that are really good and the songs that you're familiar with somehow manage to avoid being just the awkward cheese fest that they could be. Like you take this recipe that Guns N' Roses has, and anyone else who tries to hit it, like your local band or whoever is trying to sound like Guns N' Roses, the moment you try to reproduce it at all, it just evolves into just gross, like middle-aged dad rock stuff.
Right.
And like very cheesy lyrics that don't land right and very like kind of like it does like there's something where Guns N' Roses makes this thing that could be very awkward and very cheesy and very cringy. Somehow they make it feel authentic. And
well, that's because they were very gross, cringy, and cheesy guys.
But like, I think you believe it. Right. Like when you hear Guns N' Roses doing it, you believe it. If you heard someone else doing it, you'd be like, oh, you're you know, idolizing a rock and roll fantasy or whatever. And for me, it's like I've seen how you live your life. You've got a desk job and you're just some dude, you know.
It's true. I'm just some dude.
Just some dude. I've seen how you live.
You got any other notes?
I'm sure I do. I mean, can we recommend this album?
I mean, it's a classic, I guess.
My last note was, if you like Guns N' Roses, this is a great album because it's a lot of the same stuff over and over again.
I feel like that's your review of every album.
Maybe because like good albums do give you like a lot of the same thing. Also, I commented, Slash is one of those guitarists where you just poke him with a stick and he starts doing his thing. And he just doesn't stop doing his thing.
That is one of the things actually I noticed with this album in particular is a number of like riffs where I'm like, this entire song is like 3 chords and then Slash going crazy for 30 seconds.
I've never listened to a full Guns N' Roses album, and once you do, you super hear the Slash-isms. Like there's things he does, like the same way in all my demos, I play the same dumb riff that I can't get away from because it's my safety riff. He has some safety riffs that he doesn't get away from, and they're just pure Slash.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah. I laughed.
Like I said, I enjoyed it.
Nope. Nope. There we go.
I think between the two, I don't know. I don't want to go back to comparing it. So next, I don't know. I liked it. Would I listen again?
Do you want to listen to another Guns N' Roses album.
I was thinking next week we should review Poison, a Poison album.
Not next week, but the week after.
No, next week.
We're not going
Dang
to,
it,
Steve.
Ryan, that was supposed to be the joke.
We're
That
not.
we say that next week we're reviewing a Poison album, but then we don't. And then that could just be a bit where every week we say the name of an artist that we're going to review next week, but then we don't.
Hilarious joke?
It's very funny. This week's episode is brought to you by D'Addario, makers of the XT guitar string. The XT takes the carbon steel twist of the carbon steel string and the twist whatever they do to make it magical from the NYXL.
They did cool stuff and made a great string, guys.
And they put this super thin, can we call it slinky or will we get sued?
I wouldn't say it's slinky. I'd say it's stretchy.
Oh, I was going to say slick. I'm saying
It's slippery. It's slippery.
Slippery.
Not when wet. It's slippery all the time.
Coating technology on it. It's freaking great. And like,
I'm going to say like, they sent me like a dozen packs of these, and I knew I chewed up like 5 or 6 of them in one video.
Yeah.
I've only got 2 packs left. I wrote D'Addario and I was like, send me more of those. I'm loving them on everything I put them on. I'm not joking here. Like, I'm loving these strings, legit. Like,
yeah.
I picked up my Strat the other day, which is the first thing I strung these with.
Mm-hmm.
Still slick, still twangy, still feels great.
That's amazing.
These are the best like coated strings I've ever used in my life. Like, I'm not joking, guys. I really love these things. Like, if and when the D'Addario sponsorship stops, I'm going to keep using these things. I'm going to buy them with my own money. I'm not joking around here.
Dang.
But I mentioned their price, I think, a couple weeks ago. They're not $5
They're like
strings.
12 or 15 or something.
But they're going to last longer than if you bought $20 worth of strings.
Yeah.
I think there's value there with these. If you're not someone who breaks strings on the bridge all the time because you're a crazy monster.
Because you need to get your bridge looked at because
if you're
it
like
has a burr.
If you're like me and you don't break strings, you change them when they're just covered in dirt and crust.
Gross.
Get these because they're not going to have that issue and they're going to last you a long time. I just put a set on my Jaguar and I put the 11s on there. I'm going to talk about that next episode.
Okay.
It changed things. Yeah, absolutely. Topic. We're going to go back to coronavirus talk.
Oh, we should have saved that talk for now.
I know.
This was sent by Scott Hamilton.
We covered we gave people the news. Like, oh, guys, in case you haven't heard, there's a virus called coronavirus, and Steve knows all about it because he's a scientist. All right, now we can move on to some conceptual stuff with this disease that is plaguing the land. And, people might not actually hear this episode because it publishes in a few days, and we might all be dead.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Scott Hamilton says, will coronavirus revive Craigslist with a new mass of people needing to make rent? I actually think, from what I've seen, this could be a definite thing. Is
it bad to get excited about that thought? Because I am a little bit.
I think it's at least a little awkward.
When I saw him post that topic, I was like, oh, shoot. And I jumped on Craigslist.
Oh, my gosh.
And I discovered in that moment of instinct and trying to capitalize on other people's sorrow, I realized that my heart's desire, because the first thing I searched for was a Vibrolux. I guess that's what I want.
No, I saw, so we have like a couple studio guys in the group or in other groups that we're in, who were saying that like basically all of their shows for the rest of the month have been canceled, and they only have like one date currently in April because nobody's like not only are they canceling everything in like the next 2 to 3 weeks, but they're not doing any. So like whatever, if you had something booked in April, it's staying. Right. But they're not booking anything additional in April yet.
I mean, whether you're booked or not, good luck getting people to crawl out of their caves made out of stacks of toilet paper to come see your band play.
At least like, professional musicians or like people who rely on being a musician for income, like are seeing like a huge downturn because, I think in California, it's like any gathering of more than 250 people, they're saying like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, thousands of people are cramming into Costco's to buy toilet
Oh my
paper.
gosh. Yeah, does Costco count as a gathering of more than 250 people?
Every single day, all day. I did notice though in those videos that people were posting like very evenly spaced, orderly lines. No one was getting up in anyone's faces. They're like, everyone was observing their personal bubbles.
Jeez.
So, I mean, if that starts happening, Steve, if stuff starts going on fire sale on Craigslist because people need rent money and, you know, they can't go to work for whatever reason. Maybe they're a school teacher and school's out because school's canceled, guys.
School's canceled.
Our kids are home for a month now.
Yeah.
Unless things change drastically. They might be out for longer.
Like, if they're out for the next like 3 weeks, are they just going to cancel spring break and this becomes spring break?
It's going to feed into spring break. 1 week of it is part of spring break.
Oh, really? Okay.
For Henry's school.
Oh, okay.
What are you looking for on Craigslist? Like, what kind of opportunities? I
don't know, man.
Do you have? I mean, you're super rich, Steve. I don't even have to ask this question, but you've got money liquid, ready to buy stuff. Conceptually here, what are you going to buy if it pops up?
Half stack.
A half stack. Damn.
Mesa Boogie.
Damn, son.
Got to get that Mesa Boogie.
Are you thinking just because you want it, or is this like a prospective, speculative sort of investment?
Oh, no, it's just because I want it. That's actually interesting, though, is like this, like thinking about it, like the speculative thing. Like, are we going to see a bunch of people who've been hoarding like freaking Squire Venuses?
Oh, man. Oh, if I saw some
the market is flooded with the Squire Vista series.
If I saw some weird stuff coming up, I might not be able to resist. Joe Branton posted that Yamaha, that vintage 60s Yamaha SGV Flying Samurai. That's, I think, at GAC. He still works at GAC, right? Oh, it's like $2,000.
He doesn't work at GAC.
He works somewhere. He did a setup on this thing. Maybe he's just doing setups for GAC now.
I thought he just works for himself.
I don't know.
He run like a used guitar?
Oh, maybe that's it.
Is it Harlequin guitars?
Oh, okay. He's got his own deal.
I think.
He's got his own deal now. Good for him. I don't pay enough attention to those sweet, sweet boys anymore. I don't have time to listen to podcasts. But, man, that thing looks so sweet. And friggin' Grant, don't go buy it for me. It's too expensive. It's like $2,000. I've always wanted one of those Flying Samurais, but I've always looked at like the reissue versions of it. And this is a 60s version. Freaking like Terry and the Bunny style. If that was local, I'd hit the guy up, whoever had it, and be like, hey, if you get desperate, I've got $1,200. I don't know. Maybe I should be watching out for vintage Mosrites and stuff.
Ah, there you go. Was it this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Harlequin Guitar Club.
Yeah.
That is.
That's his own deal, huh?
Well, it says it's a group of people, so it might just be like
a co-op.
More than just like it's Harlequin Guitar Club.
Interesting.
They're a club.
They're a club. You know what? That's the problem. I didn't get invited into the club. It's not my fault. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We're going to start one. Business, Joe.
We're going to start one called Joker Instrument Collective.
Yeah, suck it.
Boom.
So you're going to get a half stack. You're going to get a Mesa half stack for some reason.
Yeah, and I'm going to play a Dan Electro Longhorn through it.
A bass or a guitar?
Both.
Damn, son.
Double neck.
Double neck.
No, I think there could definitely be some like weird stuff pop up.
It's gonna, if there's weird stuff popping up and it's a good value, I'm gonna have a tough time. Maybe I should stay away from Craigslist for a while. Here's what I'll do. I've got a 30-pack of toilet paper unopened. I'm gonna use that for trade bait when I see something good come up. I'm like, you need toilet paper? I know you want toilet paper. Give me that Yamaha. I want that Yamaha. All right, on to the next ad. I think we've killed this topic to death.
Yeah, this is a...
It's not getting back up.
This is a DeArmond BeDazzle. This was sent by Stephen Stacy. It's a DeArmond M55 1999 red rhinestone bedazzled, $199. There's no description.
It doesn't need one, Steve. This guitar needs no description.
How much value do you think bedazzling adds to a guitar, Ryan?
0. Well, it adds value to the person who did the bedazzling and wants to own the guitar. But most people who do bedazzling on a guitar quickly don't want that guitar anymore.
I mean, I guess if you're into bedazzling, this was well done.
It's decent. It has some strong points and it falls apart at other places.
Yeah, I don't understand these random additions. Oh, those
It looks
are
like
just gaps.
It looks like they ran out of the colors that they were using and like, we're just gonna have to fill this in with these other colors that we have. Because the pink and the turquoise and the white color scheme going on is cool. I think it should be over a different color than the red guitar, but it's cool. They were going for a cool thing.
And then all of a sudden there's this rainbow.
Yeah, with a totally different style of rhinestone in there. They lost the script at some point.
This is $199 plus $50 shipping.
Remember when these guitars were in shop and they were trying to clear them out for like $75 and stuff?
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of these DeArmonds.
And this is like the M55, so it's single pickup.
And it doesn't even have the cool DeArmond pickup. It's just a standard like junk humbucker.
All right. How much would you pay for this?
Nothing. I'm not going to buy this.
Super Rich Steve, full price, shows up with a heat gun and removes the bedazzling in the driveway and then keeps the guitar.
So, no, here it is. Super Rich Steve shows up, full price, throws in a fat $50 tip because all you've got is Benjamins. And you're like, I want to throw in a little extra.
How do you throw in a $50 tip?
Oh, wait, Benjamins are hundreds, right? Which ones are the 50s? Franklin's? I don't know. You throw in a...
Wait, hold on. The $100 bill is the Benjamin Franklin, but which one are the Franklins?
Shut up. Is that what I did?
Yeah.
Damn
You're
it.
like, the $100 bill is the Benjamin, but which was the Franklin?
Which ones are the 50s?
I don't know.
Is it Jefferson?
I never see $50 bills.
Yeah, Steve never sees a $50 bill. He only sees those hundreds. So anyway, Steve shows up, overpays for this thing just to make a point. In the driveway, he's got
a U.S. Grant.
U.S. Grant. In the driveway, there is a van with a jeweler inside, outfitted with full jeweling machinery and equipment. You bring the guitar to him, and he full-on Fabergé eggs this guitar.
Oh my gosh.
Just encrusts it with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewels and
That's
gold.
A good point.
That's what Super Rich Steve would do. And then while the person that you bought it from watches in amazement, you receive the guitar from the master jeweler, and then you burn it in the driveway.
There we go.
And the jeweler watches as well. He's like, he's always doing this.
I just don't understand. Once you bejewel it, man, it's yours. It's permanent.
Yeah, it's kind of like peeing on something.
This guy's got some like cool. Like, is this a store? Because like when you look at the next picture, it says it's Main Street Music of Carborough. So this must be something that like
this had to get dropped off at a store as a trade
or something. Because there's you look in the background and there's some
look at that
cool looking
Fender
amps, and there is some kind of
is that a Fender amp? That's a Fender, right?
I think the bottom one is a Fender. The top one is a valve. It just says, oh, it's a valve train?
I don't know. It looks cool, though. There's the Mosrite Ventures bass in the back.
Some kind of bass thing. There's another like Hofner style bass.
There's a banjo in there.
See a part of.
There's a keyboard. There's a keyboard in this shop.
There's some pick guards on the wall.
Oh, you're right. There it is, Valve Train.
Yeah.
I didn't see that picture.
Yeah, I'm just like, so.
I mean, these guitars are not worth very much. They're not worth getting. For a while, there was a run of these DeArmonds that had the good DeArmond pickups.
And this is also not that.
It's not that. And people were buying the cheap DeArmond guitars with the good pickups just to salvage the pickups and then like move the guitars.
DeArmond with the good pickups.
Yeah. So no, I say pass. I say don't buy this ever for anything. If you see this and it speaks to you, then I can't stop you. If you're like, yeah, that's a perfect rhinestone job for my look, then you're weird.
What kind of band?
You have bad
what kind
taste.
of band do you need to be in to play this guitar on stage?
One with bad taste. I don't know.
The answer is Flaming Lips cover band.
I'm fine with like rhinestone jobs and like whatever you can do, but just make it look good. And this
Glenn Campbell cover band.
This doesn't look good. You know, it almost looked good. Parts of it almost looked good. They started with a good plan. It's like when like a community has a good like community plan for like what's going to happen in their neighborhood for the next 100 years. And then it just goes sideways and they don't actually do the plan and everything's awful. Like that's what happened here. They started.
Are you talking about the Regents Road Bridge?
They started with a good plan. I'm talking about all the condos being put up in Mira Mesa. They started with a good plan, and then at some point they gave up, and it just went sideways. And they're like, I'm just going to put all the rhinestones I have on here. We've got room for another Applebee's.
Yeah. All right. This week's episode is also brought to you by Chase Bliss Audio.
I've got 5 of them in a row on my shelf back here. I've got them grouped together. I've got the Condor. I've got the Mood. I've got the Warped Vinyl Hi-Fi. I've got the Gravitas. And I've got the Tonal Recall.
Where's the Dark World?
The Dark World is on my board.
Oh, dang.
Where is the Therme? Is my question. Is it still up there?
It's still up there.
It's still up on the upper rail.
We're like, where is it? Where is it?
Man, my heart started to pound a little bit. I love the Therme. I love all those pedals, honestly.
Chase Bliss Audio makes pedals that were at their core are just fantastic sounding effects. And then they have like so many switches and knobs. Somebody asked for some advice on the Mood, and I hope I gave them the right answer. They said that when they turned it off, it just keeps going, and they didn't know how to bypass it.
No, I saw your answer. You gave me the right answer. I was
like, flip the trail switch, I hope.
Yeah. No, because anyway, it's a granular looper. If the trail switch is on, that granular loop is never going to stop.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just so much you can do with them. Go check out the demo videos online. Don't watch Ryan's. They're not very good.
Hey!
Go watch like the Knobs demo.
Knobs demos are good. But mine give you the information. Knobs just like, he just makes cool, wild sounds for 10 minutes.
That's true.
Mine are like a manual. Like when I need to remember something about my Chase Bliss pedals, I'm like, oh, I'll go rewatch my video where I explain how it works.
Yeah, go check them out. ChaseBlissAudio.com. They make pedals with a digital brain and an analog heart.
That just happen to be more creative than you are. I delivered that so corny. There we go.
This next is, I guess this is a topic. This is from Zoe June, who asked, not sure if anyone else noticed, but the bridge pickup on the new Epiphone SG Special, Chaz, that sweet, sweet headstock, is farther away from the bridge compared to its Gibson counterpart. Yeah, okay, so has the bridge pickup moved, or has the bridge moved? It looks like the bridge has moved.
No, I think pickup has moved. The bridge pickup has moved because look at the difference in the pick guards.
Yeah, yeah.
You could not swap pick guards on these guitars.
So, I mean,
Steve is perplexed. I've never seen him so just flustered.
I'm just trying
before.
to figure out what the thought process here is with this.
I don't know. Maybe it's based on different versions of the concept. Or maybe it really is just Gibson saying it can't be exactly the same as the Gibson. It has to be tweaked in some way. So just move the pickup a bit. I honestly look at the Epiphone and I know my history of pickup placement and where I like pickups to be. And I think I might prefer the Epiphone placement.
So the previous Epiphone Limited SG Special one, the one that has humbuckers, has the humbucker right next to...
Like right on it?
Like right on it.
I really wish I'd tried all these Epiphones at NAMM. I just did a couple Les Pauls and then I moved on to the Gibson stuff because the Gibson stuff looked really cool. But I didn't realize all the Gibson stuff was like $6,000. I should have been messing with the Epiphone stuff the whole time.
No one's going to want to watch those videos.
No, I'll just catch up with them
those guitars
Summer
are
NAMM.
too expensive.
They are pretty expensive, and people haven't been watching those videos as much as I would have liked. And it's not anyone's fault but my own. I should have been doing more Epiphone stuff.
But yeah, that's so weird. I'm trying to see if they give any kind of like...
Which one would you choose, Steve? Not based on brand, but if like they were the same brand, same price, and you were picking one, which placement would you choose for you?
I think I like the placement on the Epiphone more, but it's more of an aesthetic decision. I always thought like the pickup right next to a wraparound tailpiece just looks weird.
Right.
and I don't like it.
I almost kind of wish the Epiphone was a single pickup, no pickup in the neck.
Like a junior special.
Then that placement would look really good.
Yeah.
It would make a little bit more sense, too.
Yeah, it just says it's based on this classic guitar and da-da-da-da-da-da. But I don't really see any like actual explanation.
And I think no explanation needed, Steve, honestly. I mean, they're Epiphone. They can do no wrong, right? They can just do whatever they want.
Interesting. They describe it as neck pickup and mid pickup. There's no bridge pickup. They don't call that a bridge pickup.
Interesting.
I just made that up.
Shut up. I was like, really? That is wild. But you're just a liar.
Yeah, that's true. You got anything else to say about this?
I'm looking at pictures of SG Specials. At 61, the pickup looks farther away. It looks in between.
Well, that also, that tail piece is like slanted in a different direction, too.
Right. That's another reason it's different. That SG Special Cherry right there, the pickup's farther away. More like the Epiphone.
Huh.
I think the Epiphone is more correct.
Interesting. So maybe it's just something that's like changed over the years,
or maybe something
model?
new they're trying. Something new they're trying on the Gibson. Like here's an 2018 Gibson with mini bunkers, and the humbuckers farther away from the bridge.
Special. Well, that's like,
but
that's
still,
not this
like
kind of special.
look at the spacing still. Like the spacing still matters.
Yeah.
Even though it's not wraparound. I mean, looking at the more humbuckery SGs, the pickups are right on top of the bridge typically.
Yeah.
But these ones with P90s, the P90 is typically farther away from the bridge. I think the Epiphone is more correct. Not correct. I mean, nothing's correct. It's all just made up. None of it matters. But it's more vintage correct, or more like honest, or more representative of the past.
Right. Right.
I don't know. My gut tells me I'd prefer the Epiphone placement. Not just because I can afford it. What do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments.
Let us know if you know what we're missing here, because we clearly did not do any research.
Yeah, fill us in.
All right, this is a part of the show where we thank some people for doing some stuff.
Aw, damn, here we go.
So this week, at the $5 level, which is the best friends level, I'd like to thank Gary DiFiore Ridolph for supporting us. Thanks, Gary. And then at the $1 level, we have Dylan Pank and Robert Butterworth. So thanks, guys. Ryan mentioned, I think a couple episodes ago, that Patreon tried to get us to wipe out the $1 level.
No freaking way.
And,
we're not going to do it, Patreon. You can't pressure us.
And I looked into it, and I was like, because I thought, like, man, we have a lot of people at the $1 level. And there's like 19 people at the $1 level, which is nothing to brush off easily. You know what? But with that, so the first thing that crossed my mind was like, you know what? Like, if we wiped out the $1 level, we would only need half of these people to come back at the $2 level to be making the same amount of money. And I was like, you know what? It's not really about the money. Like, the $1 level is cool. I like the $1 level.
$1 level is so that anyone can afford to feel like they're contributing.
I think,
and also like $20 a month from $1 level people. I pay for pedals for the Affordaboard with Patreon money. $20 a month buys me one pedal a month. 12 pedals a year that I get to demo and explore for you guys to try to find the best affordable pedals for the Affordaboard. And the $1 people are doing it. They're doing a dozen pedals a year. That's not nothing. That is significant. I mean, only 7 pedals fit on that thing.
Is the K-Line snake bite supposed to be an Earthquaker clone?
It looks like it, but it doesn't sound like it. I actually wish I'd asked you to bring the Afterneath over.
Oh.
Because some people were like, oh, yeah, why would I buy an Afterneath if I could get that? I was like, well, because the Afterneath sounds completely different.
Oh, okay.
Because the Afterneath,
it's got like, I just saw 6 knobs. I went, huh.
Yeah, it's the same layout, but the Afterneath is like deeply modulated.
Yeah.
That's not modulated at all. It's a really like lush ambient delay, but it's not. It doesn't have any sort of pitch modulation on it.
Does it do the thing where like you turn it off, but it's on a really high setting, and when you turn it back on, it blows out the speakers at your church?
I haven't experienced that.
Anyway, all this to say, if you'd like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com and search for 60 Cycle Hum. or go to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast.
Also, you contribute at the dollar level, you still get your name at the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to have to update that list.
You want your name famous on the internet? $1.
Will do it.
Even 1 month. You do it for 1 month and it'll be up there for 4 episodes.
Grab that link.
Grab it.
Grab that link to the video. Add on the little tag that gives you the timestamp, and then post it on your Facebook feed or whatever and be like, guys, my name is on the internet.
My name is on a video. Woo! All right. This next ad was sent to us by Mojo Stomp Boxes.
Yup.
Sweet, sweet boys from down under.
This is
a country that doesn't exist. It's all a conspiracy by NASA.
I thought that was New Zealand that doesn't exist.
No, they just don't actually exist because they're not on the map. But NASA puts Australia on the map to fool us.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mojo Stomp Boxes is in on the conspiracy. Anyways, they sent us this ad for a neck on Reverb.
Yeah, this is a...
Okay, you look. I'm not going to stop you.
So the Fender Select Telecaster neck, 2013 natural. I want $300 for this.
Nope.
Where is that descripto? So this is a tough one. These guitars were made from very choice wood by Fender, usually in a limited 100 guitar run. They are incredible guitars. I've played complete ones before. A full guitar in great shape tends to go for $3,000. The story, I got this neck from a guy that had tons of random parts. He sanded the finish off, obviously, and kept the serial number intact. You can see remnants from the Fender logo on the face. He stained it with an ebony stain and was going to clear over that, but never got to finish the job. So I bought it. I don't feel like reshaping the neck since it's a little deeper than what I like, so I'm selling it to whoever wants this fun project. The truss works, the frets are in great condition. You can see the stain has dark in places, but maybe bleaching the wood or staining it otherwise could really make it shine. Then applying a nice finish as well. Feel free to make offers. This looks like trash.
You know what's really sad about this too?
What?
Is you can, a lot of those little spots in there, you think it's just like the weird stain that he did on it. It's bird's eye. Like all those little dimples. He just wrecked a bird's eye maple neck that looks like it would have been beautiful.
Jeez.
Jump on the description if you're listening to the podcast to look at pictures of this thing. It looks like it was pulled out of like tar. It looks like it was pulled out of a tar monster's anus. Like, this is really sad. I don't know why what was this person thinking? I don't know if you can salvage this.
You can't.
Luthiers out there, let us know if you can salvage this. Like, in my mind, the only way to salvage this is to strip all the frets away and keep sanding until you get into raw wood again and get underneath this stain, which might be pretty deep in there. Because I just have a bad instinct about this. Like, it's never going to look good. Maybe someone could do some sort of like painted neck project with it. Or they could sand it even more and just really soak it in stain and go like for a full ebony sort of look. But I don't know. I don't know if there's hope for this.
Man, I'm looking
at it. Looks like when I first saw the thumbnails for this, I was like, oh, is that some sort of weird like spalted maple with like a calico cat pattern to it? Like, is this some sort of bizarre exotic wood? And then you see the close-ups and you realize just how bad it looks.
I didn't realize that this was like stained. I just thought somebody like was trying to do some kind of wacky relic job. The fact that this was done like with the intention of actually trying to do something.
It looks like black mold. It looks like it got wet and left in a basement and just got black mold.
Yeah,
all
no,
over
that I mean it looks like somebody was, I don't know. It looks like, here's the thing. You can buy one of these guitars on Reverb right now for $1,400.
Right.
So I don't know what a fair price is for one of these necks. I'm not really finding anything that's easy.
Yeah.
Here's a 2012. Oh, this is a Fender Select Telecaster with violin burst. So this is the whole thing. They look good. The pictures I found of the guitars themselves. This is just like,
it's heartbreaking, kind of.
And the thing is, you know, we're talking about it, but there's no finish apparently whatsoever on this. So, I mean, you can kind of go raw on a maple neck, but most people
I could go raw on a maple neck.
Wow.
Sorry for my blue humor, kids at home. Just everything about this looks sad.
Yeah. I mean, so especially knowing that this is a stain. So it's not even like, oh, I found this super dirty thing, and I don't want to deal with it. Like,
this is the sort of thing you test on just some junk neck and you realize it was a bad idea. Like, why did this person start with such a nice neck?
Yeah.
Who gave them the license to...
Who do you think you are?
To dick around with a neck like this?
What gives you the right?
Just another super rich Steve out there. Probably your arch nemesis.
More like Super Dick Steve.
Super Dick Steve.
It's double funny because Dick is also a nickname for people who are named Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it all comes from Richard.
Yeah, that's true. Way to crack that nut wide open, Steve.
I'm glad we're all on the same page now. This week's song was sent by Sven Nystrom. Songs, notes, and a photo. Hi, Steve and Ryan. You said you were short on songs, so I thought I'd save you. First, let me say how much I enjoyed Ryan's analysis of Exile on Main Street. It was gold. I took these quotes with me. Quote, it feels like it's all from the same recording session. Quote, it could be 3 hours longer or half the length and still get the same amount of content out of it. Quote, it's the same thing over and over again. Quote, I want to hear jump in styles or concept or varieties. Ha 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 ha. If I didn't like it so much, I'd make a snarky comment about how all these quotes could apply to a certain podcast from a garage in San Diego. I think he's talking about the Tone Jerks.
Yeah, that's a rude thing to say about the Tone Jerks.
The photo then, just a street view I found in Bangkok that made me think, how does Super Rich Steve pay? Does he use D Money? So it's a picture of like a money transfer place called D Money. And there's a sign on the bottom that says Super Rich. And it said,
I think you should buy that chain of banks, Steve.
I know. And last, the song from is it Low Donger? Did we figure that out before?
I don't know.
I'm sending 3 over today. All are recorded mostly live into GarageBand in our rehearsal room. I used my 1976 Rickenbacker 4001 through 2 amps, a Laney Clip 60 top through a Marshall 115, and a smaller Marlboro combo. The signal chains are a Fox Rocks Octron 2, a Shinai Fuzz. Is it Shinai? Shinai?
Yeah, something like that.
Fuzzwall.
I've heard Shinny. I've heard Shinai.
A 50-50. Ka-ching.
Nice.
And an EHX double muff. Lars plays mostly on a tenor guitar that I built for him through 2 or 3 amps and some pedals. Milo plays drums. So he lists off these 3 songs. The song we're going to play is called Det Man Ska, which means what you oughta. The other ones are called Det Ar Inte Jag, which means it's not me. And the third one is called Do, which means you. And we'll have a link in the show notes for their SoundCloud if you want to check out more. I gotta download this song now.
Oh, great.
Ryan, do something entertaining.
Here I am. My name is Ryan. I'm on the
Shut
show.
up.
Det du har gjort
garagey. I like it.
Yeah, I always like we've talked about Rickenbacker stuff before, but like man, their basses sound cool.
One of the basses at my church has 2 Rickenbackers.
Dang.
I know, right? It's a lot. Well, anyways, bye everybody.
Stay grounded.